Captain, the human warship is still gaining. We dumped the cargo. Why are they still coming? Captain Vess had no answer. He watched the pursuit vector close on his display and ran the logic again, looking for the mistake. The ship they'd hit was a Korathi mid-hauler. Alien crew, alien registry, alien cargo, medical supplies bound for a relief station in the outer belt. Easy mark, low risk. His crew had disabled their drive, boarded them, taken the supplies, and been back in their own hull inside 20 minutes. No weapons discharged, no one hurt. By the unwritten conventions of the outer corridors, the moment he dumped the cargo, the pursuit was supposed to end. That was how it worked. That was how it had always worked. The human ship was not interested in how it had always worked. They're still accelerating, his navigator said, voice cracking slightly at the edges. Captain, they're not slowing down. Vess slammed his fist on the console. Hail them. The response came back in seconds. The voice was calm, professional, the kind of calm that isn't performed, the kind that comes from someone who already knows exactly how this ends. This is Lieutenant Commander Sarah Holt, UESN Javelin. Captain Vess, you have 90 seconds to cut your drive and come to a full stop. The cargo is not why we're here. Vess felt something cold move through him. Then why, he said carefully, are you here? A pause, just long enough to be deliberate. You boarded a ship with an intern aboard. 90 seconds, Captain, hold out. The channel closed. His first officer turned from his station very slowly. An intern, he repeated. The Korathi hauler had a human intern aboard. Vess thought back to the boarding. The Korathi captain had been shouting something the entire time, desperate, frantic, repeating himself while Vess's crew moved through his ship. Vess had tuned it out, assumed it was the standard noise of a helpless captain watching his cargo walk out the door. He heard it clearly now, playing back in his memory with a significance it had not carried at the time. Don't you know we have an intern aboard? Don't you know what that means? Vess had not known. He knew now. 4 months earlier, the chamber of the Galactic Accord had been considerably less tense. The problem was straightforward. Attacks on courier vessels carrying medical aid, diplomatic personnel, and humanitarian cargo were accelerating. 17 incidents in 8 months. The Accord wanted human fast-attack escorts patrolling the vulnerable corridors. Predictable. Visible. Expensive. Ambassador Dale Crouch had listened to the full proposal with the patience of a man sitting through a presentation he'd already decided to ignore. Patrol routes are predictable, he said when they finished. Predictable gets exploited. You'd be burning resources to cover a fraction of the traffic while raiders hit everything else. He looked around the chamber. We have a better idea. 1 human officer per qualifying vessel. Young in training, embedded as a working crew member. No additional weapons, no escort, no announcement. Just 1 human aboard, quietly. Unverified, unconfirmed. The Korathi delegate had leaned forward. You're not protecting specific ships, she said slowly. You're making every ship a possible threat. We prefer to call it professional development, Crouch said. The interns get valuable interstellar experience. The ships get, well, he smiled. Whatever this turns out to be worth. The program launched without fanfare. Within 4 months, interns were embedded across hundreds of vessels in 9 shipping corridors. Exact numbers classified. Specific assignments classified. Whether any given ship carried an intern, never confirmed, never denied. Word spread the way it always does in the outer corridors. Quietly at first, then fast. The Javelin pulled alongside at exactly the 90-second mark. A single focused pulse dropped Vess's drive cold, clean, no collateral damage, the kind of shot that communicates clearly that the person who fired it could have done considerably worse and chose not to. This time, the airlock cycled, Vessens braced for Marines. What stepped through was a single young human female in a gray utility uniform, data pad tucked under one arm, wearing the expression of someone whose afternoon had been ruined through no fault of their own. Ensign Tess Carver, 23 years old, 9 weeks into her first posting. She looked at Vess, looked at the crew, looked back at Vess. I was halfway through learning a Korathi flatbread recipe, she said. Chef Haran was finally showing me the spice ratios. She shook her head. Do you have any idea how protective Korathi cooks are about spice ratios? No one on the bridge said a word. Tess glanced back through the airlock and gave a thumbs up. Then she stepped aside as 2 Javelin crew members came through with command tow equipment, businesslike and unhurried, like this was a Tuesday, because for them it was. Vess's ship arrived at Callaway Station under tow, 4 hours later. His crew was processed, documented, and released pending Accord review. No one was injured. The Javelin filed a 1-page incident report and was back on patrol before the station finished logging the arrest. The story moved through the outer corridors faster than any ship could carry it. Within 60 days, attacks on courier vessels dropped sharply. Within 90, there were documented cases of raiders breaking off pursuit the moment a captain mentioned, truthfully or not, that they had an intern aboard. Ships that had never applied for the program began claiming they had one anyway. Nobody confirmed it. Nobody denied it. That was the point. Humanity hadn't built walls, hadn't flooded the corridors with warships, hadn't written new laws or filed new treaties. They'd made the entire galaxy into a question nobody wanted to answer wrong. Does this ship have a human aboard? Maybe, maybe not. Feeling lucky? Other than learning how to make Chorathi flatbread, what are some good duties for serving interns? Follow Sci-Fi Shorts for more.